So a few days ago, protesters from a group called Just Stop Oil threw tomato soup onto a painting in protest against the British government's inactions related to climate change. The painting was left undamaged, but a lot of people, including leftists, pretty quickly started calling Just Stop Oil and their actions part of some psyop by the oil industry to make fighting climate change look bad. These accusations gained a lot of steam because apparently an oil heiress had donated to a company related to Just Stop Oil. Of course, the supposed oil heiress, Eileen Getty, has donated heavily to numerous other causes, including to fight racism, AIDS, homelessness, and drug addiction. The most damning part is that Getty Oil went bankrupt a decade ago. There is no company left for her to shill for. There's almost no reason for her to do this unless it's some really unnecessarily complicated front, which it's almost definitely not. Let's just actually hear from one of the people who threw the soup on the painting and their reasoning.
Kitchen roll. I recognise that it looks like a slightly ridiculous action. I agree, it is ridiculous, but we're not asking the question, should everybody be throwing soup on paintings? What we're doing is getting the conversation going so we can ask the questions that matter. Questions like, is it okay that Liz Truss is licensing over 100 new fossil fuel licenses? Is it okay that fossil fuels are subsidised 30 times more than renewables when offshore wind is currently 9 times cheaper than fossil fuels? Is it okay that it is there in action that has led us to the cost of living crisis? Where this winter people are going to be forced to choose between heating and eating? This is the conversation we need to be having now, because we don't have time to waste. Last year, Sir David King said what we do in the next 3 to 4 years will determine the future of humanity. So we're using these actions to get media attention because we need to get people talking about this now. And we know that civil resistance works. History has shown us that it works. I'm stood here today as a queer woman, and the reason that I'm able to vote, the reason I'm able to go to university, hopefully someday marry the person I love, is because of people who have taken part in civil resistance before me.
Does it sound like a psyop now? Just Stop Oil has been doing numerous protests of various kinds across the UK for many months now, even facing physical assault in the process. A couple days after the soup incident, 2 activists even climbed an important bridge in order to disrupt oil transportation. But she's right, they just weren't getting any real attention until now. But people were so desperate to instantly capitulate and believe this was a psyop without doing a second of actual research themselves, because they were more concerned about the optics of bothering people who already didn't give a damn about climate change in the first place, more than actually trying anything they can to get something done. Can you argue whether their methods are the most effective? Sure, but as the person argued, has everything else not already been tried and is still being tried? Petitions, marches, like anything and everything, but governments are still not doing nearly enough to stop climate change, or even to meet the modest goals of the Paris Climate Agreement. I mean, a person burned themselves alive in front of the Capitol less than 5 months ago, and there was almost no news about it compared to this. The vandalization of a painting seems more important than the vandalization of the entire planet. What else are climate activists supposed to do at this point? What does good optics even mean? Some people were arguing if you want to do truly radical action, why not blow up a pipeline or kidnap an oil baron? That's very funny to me, because if that truly is effective action, ask yourself why you aren't doing those kinds of things either. And the answer is because no one wants to go to prison for potentially decades. I can imagine back in the day these same people getting angry at black men sitting down at diners or refusing to sit in the back of the bus or blocking roads because it's bad optics, or because they heard some framing of the issue in a way that was just dishonest, and they instantly believe that dishonesty. But just in the end, ask yourself this: are the history books going to have sympathy for the people who were late to work, or are they going to have sympathy for the people who are willing to put their bodies and jobs on the line to stand up for the literal survival of the earth? All in all, I guess the thesis of this video is to hesitate before we instantly condemn the actions of others without understanding the full context, and also understanding the genuine damage that spreading misinformation and believing that misinformation can cause. Like and subscribe if you like. Also follow me on Twitter if you want. It's in the description. Another video should be coming by the end of the week, or maybe next week, not sure. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.